Part 1. The Newspapers and Their City. In 1997, the Press-Telegram celebrated its 100th anniversary, a fairly hazy date that went back to the first days of the press, as well as to other papers with which today's Press-Telegram shares its heritage. The following is a brief, though long in terms of newspaper articles, intertwining, of the city's early history and the newspapers that covered it. A copy of a photograph still survives, a century after it was taken, showing four men in front of what was called a printing office, a one-story building just a bit more elaborate than a shack that housed the Long Beach Press. It was all the staff you needed to run a newspaper in a small town of 2000. Among the men were J. H. Smith and John G. Palmer, the owners and publishers of the Press, which they fired up for the first time in 1897. The other pair, as forgotten as those first few scores of papers the sewing machine issued forth, reported and delivered whatever news the seashore village was able to generate. The road was dirt, in front of the Long Beach Press building. From that spot, near the corner of First Street and Pine Avenue, our quartet of pioneer journalists could see and hear thundering surf pound the coast just a few hundred yards away. They could smell the crystalline perfume from the gloriously clean Pacific, feel the salt on their skin. The sounds were of horses clopping, the traveling squeak of a carriage wheel on its axle, the intermittent charging from a nearby blacksmith's shop, boys hollering, dogs barking. It was perhaps a bigger deal getting a newspaper 100 years ago. Flap, you'd slap it, all rolled up and filled with moment and event. In your palm. You'd unfurl it at home, hunkered in your chair, or on the front steps, or at the kitchen table. You'd read bits of it aloud to the family. Listen. Quote, a ferocious school of sharks descended upon William Graves's nets last evening and made them unfit for further use by their partly successful attempt to get at the big catch of halibut and barracuda which were within. F.C. Payne, who had a small ranch at First and Falcon Street, dug up a 15-pound sweet potato. This is the record for the sweet tubers in this vicinity, though Mr. Payne says he has had plenty more as large, if not larger than the one unearthed. Found. Bicycle. Call at 245 East First Street and pay for this ad.